Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And today I am going to be taking a look at another 2022 release, this time from one of the most exciting and most adventurous piano players on the scene today. And in my opinion, she is quite possibly the best musician to ever grace the piano since Hiromi Uehara. And I was very lucky to catch this young and very talented lady back in November 2022 who made her UK debut. And she proved to me that she is more than just a pretty face. She is, without a doubt, the real deal, an amazing composer, an outstanding pianist, and many refer to her as the lioness of the piano, and rightfully so. She brings so much power and so much energy into her playing, and she, for me, is currently one of the most exciting musicians out there. She needs no introduction. I am talking about, of course, the one and only pianist and composer, the lovely and very talented Connie Han. And this is her latest recording for Mack Avenue Records, Secrets of Inanna. So, as I mentioned already, I went to see Connie Han back in November 2022, and her trio played a couple of tracks from this album. And after listening to this several times already, I can honestly tell you now that this album is without a doubt Connie Han's strongest and best album to date. And this is a very young and talented lady who is on the roll of her life. She continues to keep getting better and better. And for me, I don't think she can do any wrong. You know, she gets better with every listen. And she's only 4 albums already into her recording career. And she's only in her 20s. And I think she's going to get better and better. I think she's got a very bright future. And she hasn't even hit her prime yet. Imagine what she's going to sound like in the next 2 or 3 years. It's just absolutely mind blowing how someone like Connie Hearn can just bring so much energy and pack such a hell of a punch in her music. It's just incredible. Haven't seen the likes of this since the days of Hiromi Uehara, although two completely different piano players, but it's hard to ignore the comparisons. But Connie Hearn is very much her own person with her own voice and her own sound on the piano. So, musicians featured on here is, of course, Connie Han on piano and Fender Rhodes, longtime collaborator Bill Wysaske on drums, John Patitucci on bass from the Chick Corea Electric Band, the Chick Corea Acoustic Band, and, of course, the legendary Wayne Shorter Quartet. John Patitucci brings a lot of great bass playing to the music and plays a big role. And you can't go wrong with someone like John Patitucci. He's seen it all and done it all, and for me is one of the greatest bass players of all time. And at the core of the trio, we've got Katisse Buckingham on piccolo and alto flute, and we've got Rich Perry on tenor saxophone. So both of those guys are featured on a couple of tracks here. So let's have a look. So we got the full breakdown of who plays on what tracks, and we got some credits here and some sleeve notes as well. So most of the tracks here are either trio, quartet, or duo, and there's one solo track here as well. And a lot of the music here sounds very similar to the first incarnation of Return to Forever. Imagine if Stanley Clarke, Chick Corea, Joe Farrell, and Airto Moreira got back together, but without Flora Purim, and they just went full instrumental. This is kind of what they would sound like in the 21st century. But this album is not what you would call a clone of the first Return to Forever album. This is very fresh and very exuberating, and there's a lot of energy in this music. And, as I said, it does sound very similar to RTF, but at the same time, it's not what you call a copycat. So, most of the tracks are written and composed by Connie Han. There's a couple of contributions by Bill Wysaske and a co-composition by Connie Han and Bill Wysaske, and there's also a standard by Chick Corea and Rogers Grant. So the first track, which is written and composed by Bill Wysaske, is called Prima Materia, which is a quartet track featuring Connie Han doubling on piano and Fender Rhodes, John Patitucci on bass, Bill Wysaske on drums, and Katisse Buckingham doubling on piccolo and alto flute. And as I said, it sounds very similar to like the early Return to Forever with Joe Farrell. It's very lovely, very soothing, but at the same time, it does pack a hell of a punch, and it's a great opener. And then the next track, which is composed by Connie Han, this is a trio track. This is called Erigishko of the Underworld. Great track, great piano playing from Connie Han, great solid bass work from John Patitucci, and great drumming from Bill Wysaske, who plays a very big role on this album, as he has done on past recordings as well. And then we got a piano and drum duo track by Connie Han and Bill Wysaske, and this is also composed by Connie Han, and this is called Gilgamesh and the Celestial Bull. Now, I got to see Connie Han play this live, and it was just jaw dropping. That's all I'm going to say. It was absolutely jaw dropping. And then we've got a standard here by Rogers Grants called Morning Star. And this again is a quartet track, but this time it's got Rich Perry on tenor saxophone. And, you know, obviously trio is where it's at with Connie Han, but when you add saxophone to the mix, it brings out a different side of Connie Han's playing, and the piano and the saxophone, you know, make a very unique sound as a front line. And of course, you got the rhythm section keeping everything flowing, and it's a great track. It's really, really good, and great sax playing from Perry, and of course, Patitucci and Wysaske make a great rhythm section as well. And Connie Han is really taking charge on the piano as well. She's just all full speed ahead. And the next track we got here is also written by Connie Han, and this is called Vesca Sis, which is a piano and sax track duo number, and really good sax playing from Perry and great piano playing from Connie Han. It's just a really nice, lovely track. And then we got Young Moon, also composed by Connie Han, and this time features Connie Han on Fender Rhodes. And she definitely brings that Chick Corea kind of flavour with the Fender Rhodes. And of course, when you bring John Patitucci and add him to the mix, you know it's going to sound very close to the Electric Band, or you know, or even like the Acoustic Band, or even like early RTF. You know, all the influences are there, and it's a really good track as well. And then we got a drum solo piece, which is composed by Bill Wysaske, called Nishiber's Lament, which is just Bill Wysaske going absolutely nuts on the drums, and he's an amazing drummer, and he's all over this album. And then we've got another contribution by Bill Wysaske called Wind Rose Goddess, which is absolutely gorgeous track, and it's a quartet track again with Richard Perry. Lovely sax playing from Perry. He just sounds incredible. Everyone else sounds fantastic. Connie Han, of course, leading the way as always. And then we got another track written by Connie Han called The Galoo Pursuit, which is a trio track. And again, what more can you say? Connie Han is just sounding absolutely incredible on piano. And as I said, I love hearing different instruments in the mix, but for me, trio is where it's at with Connie Han. She just sounds incredible in this setting. And then the next track by Bill Wysaske, we've got Dumzuzi of Uruk. Lovely track, and again, Perry on saxophone, so another quartet track. And again, more of that early traditional RTF sort of flavour, but with a modern 21st century twist to it. And then we've got a standard by Chick Corea called Desert Air, and John Patitucci's bass playing is just absolutely impeccable, really. John Patitucci's one of those guys, he can make everyone sound good, and he's so smooth and very precise in his bass playing, and he's got such a thick, rich sound. When you hear him, you know straight away it's John Patitucci. He's got such a unique sound and very recognizable as well. When you hear him, you just say, yeah, I know who that is. And then we got the closer track, Enki's Gift, which is also a co-composed composition by Connie Han and Bill Wysaske. And this has got Katisse Buckingham on piccolo and alto flute. So it's kind of like how it was at the beginning. So it's kind of like closing it with great flute playing from Buckingham. And Connie Han is doubling on piano and Fender Rhodes. brilliant playing from the lovely Connie Han, and Patitucci and Wysaske again just sound absolutely phenomenal as rhythm section. But overall, fantastic album. If you're looking to get into Connie Han's music, I highly recommend you start with this one. This is just absolutely phenomenal. So the standout tracks for me are Gilgamesh and the Celestial Bull, Morning Star, Young Moon, Windrose Goddess, Dizumzi of Uric, Desert Air, and Aniki's Gift. But all of them are great. Great collection of songs from start to finish and very enjoyable listen. You know, highly recommend you listen to this. It's a really good album, and this is someone who's at the top of their game at the moment. And as I said, she can do no wrong. So there you have it. Connie Han, Secrets of Inanna. Fantastic. So that is going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite track from Connie Han, Secrets of Inanna? Is it Prima Materia, Erishko of the Underworld, Gilgamesh and the Celestial Bull, Morningstar, Veskia Piscis, Young Moon, Nishaber's Laments, Windrose Goddess, The Galu Pursuit, The Museum of Uric, Desert Air, or Eniki's Gift? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite tracks. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will be back next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series, where I am going to be taking a look at Connie Han's entire catalogue of albums. So make sure you don't miss that. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.